Men Kote-do! It's me, Father Kendomus! Ho, 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 ho! Hi folks, it's Andy and welcome to this week's Kendo Rant. Very special Christmas Kendomus Christmas episode. Hi folks, it's Andy. Welcome to this week's Christmas Kendo Rant. Right, before we get into the questions, it's hot in this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Make my Christmas by doing all your Kendo shopping at KendoStar.com. That's a fantastic website that I run, of course, that sells brilliant, amazing, fantastic, wonderful Christmas Kendo equipment. So go to KendoStar.com and do your Christmas shopping there. Right, so let's get into the questions. First one, I'm almost 47 years old. I also live in Japan. Is it too late to start Kendo? It seems most dojos are full of junior and high school students. I'm not sure I could keep up. Is it okay to go at my pace? Okay, so right. Yeah, it's okay to start Kendo in Japan at 47. It's not too old to start at all. The best thing you can do is try and find like what's called a machi dojo, like a local dojo, and go and see there. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to accommodate you. It's going to help you a lot though if you can understand some Japanese to communicate with the people there. But I don't think it's a problem at all. Don't worry about the age thing. Kendo's for everybody, and I'm sure that the teachers there will be more than happy to help you out. So yeah, right, next one. When visiting another dojo or attending a seminar, I want to do keiko with the sensei, but there's a long line. I get restless and I feel I'd get more if I did keiko with senpai or other students. Is it better to wait a long time to do keiko with the senpai or do a lot of keiko with the more junior students? So look, if it depends on the situation. If it's like a seminar with a special teacher, you should try and practice with that teacher because you might not get a chance to practice with that teacher again, or certainly not for the near future. I don't think you're going to get a lot out of practicing with students that are junior to you. That's not your role necessarily. You should be doing that in your sort of dojo anyway. So for me, yeah, it's better if you can if you get the chance to practice with the higher grades. That's definitely going to do more for you. But of course, sometimes you can't always do that because the queues are really, really long. The answer to this is put your men on really fast. So learn to tie your men really quick, and then you can be right at the front of the queue. Do that, and then you can get practicing with the other people as well, and then you get the best of both worlds. Right, next one. Hi Andy, when I do fumikomi, I feel some kind of strange stinging pain on the front half of my right foot, and the pain is similar to when slapping someone with your hand. Ooh. For the person you're slapping or your hand. It's quite annoying because I have to pause for a moment before continuing moving forward. Does this mean I'm doing it wrong somehow? Have you experienced this before, and what should I do to resolve the problem? So it sounds to me like instead of like stamping like this, you're kind of either slapping this way or maybe this way. You want to try, if really kind of pretty much at the same time is the best way. Yeah, you can kind of heel slightly first, but shouldn't be like slap on the floor like that because that is super painful. Yeah, try and land your foot pretty much at the same time to bring your left foot up quickly. That's kind of the idea, is that you're stamping to bring the left foot up quickly. Yeah, not to make a loud slapping, banging noise on the floor. That's not why we do fumikomi. Okay, so it's probably to do with your technique. Next one. Hello, Andy. I hope you'll be dressed as Santa when you answer this. Wait, hang on a sec. How about now? Right. I have a small question about teaching during Jigeiko. The average height for men in my... they'll carry on as normal. The average height for men in my dojo is like 1.85 centimeters. However, I'm quite a bit shorter than that. My problem is that I have a core who only attacks with his arms instead of his hips. And the only method I know of making this obvious to him is stepping back so that he notices how he gets stuck in place. The thing is that the cause of the height difference, I always have to make... The thing is that because of the height difference, I always have to make a huge step, and it doesn't seem like an efficient way of teaching. Given you are of shorter build yourself, thanks for reminding me. Do you know of any other way of making these kind of mistakes that mainly come up from height differences? Or I'm taking the beard off my face again because it's too hot and I'm getting it in my mouth. Right. Right. So look. Yeah, I am short, pretty much compared to most people. Like I'm 173 centimeters, so I'm kind of short. I'm not that short though. Not that you touched a nerve or anything. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think the thing is what you're talking about is somebody that's super tall and they're just sort of using their arms to hit instead of stepping. I think you can still control the mai properly. You know, you don't have to step into a close mai. I don't think the best thing for you to do to teach him is to just keep stepping back so he misses. I think you have to tell him. Yeah, you can verbally tell him this. Say, look, yeah, you might feel like you can reach, but your cut isn't being made with kikentai no ichi, so therefore it's not a yuko datotsu. Okay, you need to be able to make a strike while stepping forward from your lower body so that you can make a strike that fulfills the criteria of yuko datotsu and has kikentai no ichi. Okay, so just hitting the bogu with your shinai is not enough. All right, so I think you have to have that sort of verbal conversation with them, to be honest. Plus, if they're like just hitting with their hands, stuff like debarawaza or ojuwaza should work pretty well. So that could be another way of teaching them. I'm not playing with my hair because I'm like, it's not my hair, but I'm not playing with it because I'm like vain or something. It keeps going in my mouth. Right. Next one. Could you please speak a bit about training progress, as in how important is it to keep your weakest spots in mind and work on them consciously, maybe even keeping a progress diary? Is there any worth to mindless repetition at all? So it's of extreme crucial importance. It cannot be overstated how important it is to keep your weak points in mind as you're practicing. You have to always be thinking about them, all right? So every time you do practice, every time you do kirikaeshi and you do that first men, yeah, step into distance. Is your distance correct? Yes, check, good. And then men, am I doing that properly from good distance with fumikomi, with good kikentai no ichi? Is it yuko datotsu? Good. Do I do taiatari if I'm doing taiatari? Is it good taiatari? How is my sayu men? Those sort of things you have to constantly be checking whilst you're practicing. Constantly. Okay, 5 times menuchi. Okay, so do the big menuchi. Am I just lunging in with no real thought as to what I'm doing, or am I making my good distance and bam, making the good strike, pushing from my left leg, again striking with kikentai no ichi? Is that what I'm really doing? These are things you always have to keep in mind. And there's no worth at all to mindless repetition. You're just wasting your time. You're just getting tired for no reason whatsoever and not getting better at Kendo at all. All right. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no use to mindless repetition at all. Okay. So I keep seeing me in this monitor and seeing how ridiculous I look. Anyway. Right, next one. If you could have one present from Father Christmas, what would it be? It doesn't have to be Kendo related. I don't know. I really like Kendo, so probably like my own dojo. That'd be great. Like just my own building with a dojo in it. Yeah, that'll do. Please, Santa. Okay, ho ho ho. I have a couple of beginner's doubts as I'm currently 6th Q. First of all, what's the criteria for performing fumikomi when doing a cut? I've noticed that when my sensei does not perform fumikomi on every cut when we are doing exercises, but does it very often when in jigeko. Also, I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit on the philosophical aspects of kamae and why our body is required to face forward most of the time. Thanks a lot for the answers in advance. Okay, so in general, strikes that are done in a realistic situation, like a tachi-ai, where you're actually striking competitively, are always done with fumikomi. There are strikes that we practice in Kendo that don't use fumikomi. They use suriashi instead. Lots of suburi, for example. This stuff's going in my eyes as well as my hair now. As my hair? This is my hair. It's going in my eyes and my mouth now. So things like Suburi as well, we do with Suriashi, parts of Kirikaishi, of course, we do with Suriashi. But for the most part, if you're at 6th when you're doing Jigeko or something like that, you should be trying to make strikes that have Fumikomi. It's very, very important, all right? In terms of the philosophical aspects of Kamae, why is the body face forward? It's not really philosophical, if I'm honest with you. It's out of practical reasons. Remembering that Kendo isn't about sword fighting. It's not learning how to win sword fights. We want to keep our hips absolutely square onto our opponent, especially when we're in Chudan, so that we can make the strongest, straightest strike down the middle as we possibly can. Because if two of you do that at the same time, the one that's slightly off center is definitely going to lose. All right, you want to make sure that you're making a straight strike. If you're making a strike that's like this, then when you have the I-men, the I-waza, when they both hit together, 9 times out of 10, probably more, you'll lose that. Okay, so you want to make a nice straight strike. Straight down the center line with your hips square, all right? And that's why the kamae are set up like that. Okay, last one. My head has been aching lately to the point where I feel disoriented during practice. It usually begins when we're doing kirikaishi for a while. Personally, I don't think it's bogo, as I usually get help to put my bogo on. Any ideas where I'm going wrong? Many thanks. Right, first off, this ain't a place to ask for medical advice, all right? I can't tell you if there's like a medical problem. So I don't know if it's like a medical issue. I ain't qualified to answer that. It could be, though, that you're not taking in enough water, all right? So make sure you drink plenty of water. That's a really common problem I find, actually, in Kendo, is people don't drink enough water and they end up dehydrated, and that's why they end up, like, feeling dizzy or getting headaches and stuff like that. So make sure you drink enough water. If that doesn't help, maybe talk to a doctor or something, okay? So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bit of a shorter episode today, but it is Christmas, so I am trying to get off home a little bit early. See if I can fool the kids with my wonderful Father Kendomas outfit. What do you think? Believable? Not so sure. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to shop at KendoStar, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.